Hey everyone, Jonesy here. Today I'm going to go over 8 potential ways that could help you fall
Prevent.
victim to fraud and scams. Just a quick background on myself. So I've been in banking for 25 plus years and have been very involved in the fraud department. And so I have seen many cases that covers each of these items today that we're going to talk about where someone has fallen victim to um, simply because they didn't follow their instincts or they didn't listen to some potential guidance that I'm going to share with you today. So the first one that we're going to cover today are online accounts. While you may think that, yeah, a lot of fraud does happen because of the online accounts, and that is a fact in one form or another, um, that is the direction that the payments are heading. That is the direction that most financial institutions are heading. They want you to sign up for their mobile apps and use bill pay and essentially become a self-checkout processor. And so there are ways to handle that safely. And the first and foremost is once you establish your online account, you have no reason to give out your login or password. Okay, that login and password should be specific to you and you only, and there's no reason that someone will call you up on the phone or send you a text requesting that in order to complete a transaction or in order to complete an application or anything like that, that you need to share your login credentials. Okay? When it comes to login credentials, it is very common that a lot of people use either the same login or the same password across many sites, whether it's your bank app or a travel app or your Amazon account or whatever it may be. A lot of people tend to use the same password and even the same login. And in order to help yourself prevent fraud, you should alter those and change it up. Whenever it comes to passwords, you definitely do not want to use anything that is unique and close to you that the fraudsters could easily figure out, such as your own name or your last name or your kids' names or your mother and dad's names or your street address or anything like that. The password needs to be fairly complex. I recommend that your password is at minimum 12 characters. It definitely needs to include letters, numbers, and symbols. And you want to mix it up. And again, if my cat's name was Snowball, I do not want to make my password Snowball123. I do want to make more of a complex password so it's more difficult for the fraudsters to crack the code essentially. The second item of discussion is your mobile app. If you download it, use it. What I recommend is that you log in and you check your mobile app at least twice a day. This gives you the availability to see what payments are coming through, what payments might be pending, and what payments that might be questionable. And that gives you the availability to immediately contact your financial institution to report an item if it needs to be reported. So, one of the purposes for your mobile app is so that you can actually do transactions on the go. But the best tool that you have is to access the app, look at your activity, and verify. It is a fact that a lot of people do not reconcile their account. like the old-fashioned way, using a check register, and the way that payments are processed today, with a lot of them being real time. Having the mobile app gives you that feature to quickly identify any potential fraud or unusual activity that you may spot. One other tip to add with the mobile app as well is that if your financial institution identifies something, they may post a memo or a message in your mobile app that will notify you, hey, here's a recent fraud or scam that we have identified, and giving you some info there. So the mobile app can also be a good tool to see, if your financial institution has identified anything and has shared it with you through that device. And the third one, we will stick on the topic for electronic payments. These days, whenever you actually write a paper check and put it in the mail, it has been a very common practice that the fraudsters will intercept that check, they will wash the check, and then present it for payment elsewhere after they have altered it. And that has been a long time trick that the fraudsters do. It's still a successful method of them to access funds that was never intended for them. So one way to prevent that is to reduce the number of paper checks that you write and use your online bill pay through your financial institution app or on your laptop. Sign up for ACH payments, and that will, a combination between those two can help prevent paper check fraud. Staying on the topic of check fraud, this one here really just still ceases to amaze me. But many consumers, they'll go out to their mailbox, they'll get the mail, and they'll rummage through it, and they'll find this check that was mailed to them, and they have no clue why it was sent to them. They have no clue where it came from, and there is no connection for them to receive that check, but they still bring it into the bank to try to cash it, thinking, hey, I essentially won the lottery, or today is my lucky day. For some reason, I just got $9,000 in the mail for no reason, have no clue why, but yeah, it's made payable to me, so I'm going to try to cash it. That is a scam. If you have no reason and no recollection as to why you'll be receiving a check, particularly in the amounts that they issue them for, and normally it's not $100 or $200, it is thousands of dollars, $4,000, $8,000, $12,000, whatever the amount may be. If you have no clue why you received it, it's fraud. It's a scam. A lot of times that check in the memo on the bottom left-hand corner, typically there's two words there: payment approved. Okay, and there's no specific details other than payment approved. That's a red flag. That is a scam. That is fraud. Sometimes there's a cover letter in there that states, hey, if you take this check, cash it in, and then mail the funds back to whatever address is on it, then you'll receive $100,000 or whatever it may be. Again, this happens all the time, and it is fraud and scam. Do not fall for that. Call your financial institution. They can help you identify whether or not that check is legit or it's fraud, or try to Google the company that sent it to you. Do your own research before you bring it into the bank, because most likely what's going to happen is that you take it in, we're going to tell you that it's fraud, and we will, banks in general, should try to keep that check and only shred it. And really, that's what you should be doing as well. If you get something like that in the mail, you don't know what it is, rip it up, throw it away. It's not worth the time, not worth the hassle. It's going to fall back on you. So check fraud. The fifth item today to mention is a credit monitoring tool. It's very important that at least once a year, maybe twice a year, you need to check in and see what your credit score is, and check in to see if there have been any credit inquiries, because that can be indicators whether or not your personal information has been compromised, has been stolen, and has been used unauthorized by you. If you are someone who frequently borrows money, then there's an easy way, because whenever you apply for a loan, you will get a copy of your credit report, and you can check it right there. You can talk it over with your banker and so forth. But if you are one who does not borrow money often, or has not needed to borrow money, I would still sign up for some type of a credit monitoring tool, so that you can monitor that. There are many platforms out there. It is common that possibly your financial institution who you work with, they have a solution, either something online or your mobile app that can help you monitor that and show you what your credit score is. Or there are even third-party vendors and software out there that you can sign up and register for. Number 6 has to do with business accounts. If you are a business owner and you have a business account or multiple business accounts, Positive Pay is highly recommended that can help you prevent fraud. So what is Positive Pay? Positive Pay is a way that you, the customer, can communicate back to your financial institution to quickly inform them of what checks or ACH payments that you have authorized and paid, so that the bank knows, or your financial institution knows, whether to pay or return. And it's just a very small lift that is on the customer side, on a daily basis. You, the customer, would need to provide the date, check number, dollar amount, and who it's made payable to your financial institution. That way they know whether to pay or return an item. This needs to continue. This is a continuing effort between you and your financial institution, so that you can be on the same page and quickly identify if there are any fraudulent items attempting to post to your account. Whatever items match up and align on the file that you submit to the financial institution, then those items are paid. No questions asked. If something does not match up, then based on your FI's processes, they will most likely reach out to you in one form or fashion according to your contract, and further confirm whether or not to pay or return these items. And like I said, there is a contract that should be executed so that you can clearly identify how you choose to handle that, how your financial institution will handle those items. So if you have a business account, Positive Pay is a very good tool for fraud prevention. The 7th item for today is garbage theft. We've already talked about the fraudsters stealing mail from your mailbox, but don't put it past them. They're out there rummaging through garbage, and what they're looking for is any type of personal information, bank account statements, credit card statements, any types of registrations, any bills, utility bills, invoices, anything that would have your personal information on it. they're going to rummage through it. So a couple of things that I suggest. One, you could buy a small personal shredder just to keep in your house. And so everything that is paper form or even thin cardboard, run it through the shredder and dispose of it that way. Scissors can be your best friend. Scissors, you can cut up paper, you can cut up credit cards, debit cards, membership cards, whatever it is. And if you do that, I also recommend that as you cut up those cards, you cut it up in different angles so that you're cutting up all of the numbers and the name and the expiration date and all those things in very small pieces. And do not throw all those cards away in a single trash bag. I would recommend that after you cut up a card, you at least split it up 50-50 or whatever, 75-25 for the pieces that you have, and throw one part of it away in your kitchen trash can, and then throw another away in a totally separate trash can. That way, it's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to try to put the pieces back together, because not only did you cut it up in small pieces, but you disposed of it in two separate waste cans. The last item today is change the way that you think. So, you really need to have a mindset of being on guard all the time. Obviously, establishing a close relationship with a personal banker, with your financial institution, and you get to know them in person. You're familiar with what they look like, you're familiar with their voice, which gives you a little more comfort, so that if you are speaking with them over the phone for certain things, over time you build that relationship and you become comfortable. But again, a lot of this occurs out of the blue. Someone who you've never spoken with before, someone you've never had contact with before, just trying and prying to get information from you. Those are the red flags. So you really need to change the way that you think and be alert and aware of red flags. One thing that can be common on most smartphones is that you can silence the unknown callers. And even on the caller IDs, it may say unknown, or it may say scam, or something along those lines. Don't answer it. Okay, let it go to voicemail. If it goes to voicemail, delete it. Move on. No harm, no foul. Don't connect with them. If you would happen to connect with someone, again, if they're inquiring about certain things that just, raises a red flag and you have questions about, the easiest thing to do is just to hang up. All right, disconnect the call as quick as you can. The faster that you disconnect the call is less opportunity for them to hook you in where you may accidentally give them some information that you didn't intend to. So, if you would happen to answer a phone call and you start down a conversation, just hang up. Thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate you. Stay safe out there.